Hello and welcome to
And now we're talking.
Real Estate.
Yes, with your hosts,
Myself, Jillian Stickney, and
Michelle Patterson-Knipp.
where we cover all things real estate and non-real estate.
And non-real estate, we do go on tangents sometimes.
Just a wee bit. Okay, hopefully final test for this morning.
Yeah, we're up and running and getting things done.
Hello and welcome to episode 3.
Episode 3 already. Oh my gosh.
We're still big time. Actually, let's just jump right into it there because I have a funny story for, first of all, my co-host Michelle. I'm Jillian, just in case you're jumping in here at episode 3. But I wanted to start today's episode with a funny podcast story and maybe an older generation type situation. So
I'm here for it.
I was at a family dinner, and I guess my one brother knew about the podcast and he told my mom, and so she's like, oh yeah, Paul said you had a podcast, whatever. And then so of course my mom's friends like, oh, really? Like they think this means you've like arrived or something. And I was like, I think we have 6 listeners. And then my mom's friend was like, is that safe? Like having this like podcast? And I was like, I'm pretty sure being a realtor is like a million times more dangerous. But it was just really cute to like see how they thought like, oh, you have a podcast, like you've arrived.
Right.
And 2, like because you've arrived, you must just have such a following. And then are you safe out in the public eye?
Are you safe? Is this a safe idea, Julia?
Right. Yeah. So God bless the folks and those in their vicinity.
Hey, moms will be momming all the time.
True. And the other one's a mom too, so this tracks. Anyway, so I thought that was a funny little story that I wanted to share with Michelle about our journey here with the old podcast. But
Well, so far it's been a huge learning experience, but it's been fun.
it actually has been. So starting with today, we were trying to use some new software, and we aborted that because we're like, oh, this is like too difficult. And then we went back to the one that we air quote know, and even that was a little bit of a struggle. But it looks like we're up and running now. So hopefully this works. And I do want to say, the last time we were in studio, definitely we did manage to get some content, but unfortunately there was some on the cutting room floor.
A lot of it, and to say that it was on the cutting room floor is a nice way of saying that it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's lost completely.
Yeah, that actually makes it sound like we could piece it together somehow. Yeah, gone to the ethers. So
Yeah.
And it was just so good, guys. You'll have to trust us.
Yeah, trust us on this one.
Yeah.
So I think it's my turn to come up with the topic today.
Sure.
And before we get right into it, I have a little gift for you. And this will tip you off as to what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even see that there. Ladies and gentlemen, I am being presented with a gift of soap. It's a... yes, okay, so a couple of things. Well, first of all, like soap, it's like what would I call this? This isn't just like a Dove or an Ivory Bar. It's like a little more...
So let me tell you the origin stories of this soap. I was out with my friends. We were going for coffee, and she had this new car. I'm like, let's spin around in this new car of yours. I need to like soak in all of this new car smell.
Oh, yes, please.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So we were just driving around, and we decided to head towards on 124th Street, where we're going to go do some shopping there. And my friend was going to like a tarot card party later on that evening, and she wanted a little hostess gift. Well, wouldn't you know, we passed by a sign that said, Witches Market.
Perfect.
And we're like, let's go, right? And so in the Inglewood Community League Hall, they had a witches market, and they had all different vendors and artisans, and one of them was selling soap. So it kind of looks like that soap that you get from Lush, where it's like handmade and carved and really artisanal looking. And she puts different spells and enchants these different soaps.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Okay.
I like this.
And the one
So the one I
Jillian
got
has,
is Intuition. And I know where this is going because Michelle did a post on her Instagram recently and it was talking about intuition. And I commented and I said, oh, that's a potentially good podcast topic. So here we are. We're up one podcast topic and I'm up a cool bar of soap.
well, hopefully it works.
Yeah.
It has, just the whole vibe of channeling into your intuition.
Okay, I'm here for that. So I'm going to report back. Next episode, guys. Actually, no. So behind the scenes, we might do 2 episodes today. So in a couple episodes, I'll let you know how my intuition's doing.
Amazing. Amazing. So how do you feel like you use your intuition when you're doing your business as a real estate professional?
Okay, so it's actually kind of funny that you asked that. Obviously, it's not. We did this lead in. But when you posted your post, I thought you were going to be talking about intuition in terms of doing deals. Like, normally protocol would say do this, but I have a feeling let's kind of try this approach or do. So that's actually where I thought you were going with that. So, for me, I think it's true. I think we need to rely on our intuition, more than maybe we think so, because so many times in a deal or transaction, I'll sort of have a feeling and I'll ignore it because it's maybe not the traditional approach or response or, way of doing things. But then in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, and maybe it even ends up shaking out that way. But if I'd done it the way sort of I intuitively felt like, it may have been faster, smoother, whatever, to get to that point. But I think you're thinking of something totally different.
Well, for me, I was thinking it more of a safety, like when you just get that funny feeling in your gut that this isn't a really great situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it all applies. It all applies when you're just listening to your instincts, and intuition, instincts, kind of the two go hand in hand. And when you're out there on your own, not just as a woman showing property and everything like that, but out there on your own as a realtor, you're responsible for your own business, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to rely on a lot of what your gut is telling you.
Yeah, totally. I think you need to kind of cover bases from as many different angles. So like obviously the practicality things that but I think if you can lean heavy on sort of more mystical unknowns, absolutely. And safety is a huge one for us in the business. Like you say, you're out there by yourself, whether you're showing properties or whatever. You could be in a vacant property, potentially meeting someone you don't know. This is when I thought my mom and her friend were quite funny. I'm like, in a studio downtown with my good friend is not that dangerous. Meeting some unknown, who knows?
Unknown.
Yeah, a total unknown at a vacant property, like, out in the wilderness at night is, that's a little more dangerous. But no, to be honest, like, I never do that. I'm sure Michelle never does that.
No.
And definitely I will say, our community is actually really great. Like, they're always so supportive of any agent. I don't want to, just talk about females. Like, any agent, could be susceptible. It's just, unfortunately, it tends to be more women. But, if anyone, like, I know the offices are all really good, and just the whole community and industry. If an agent ever has any hesitation with an appointment, there's always agents that will come along. And there's just a lot of different tips and tricks that we do to sort of help us stay safe as well. So
Yeah, for sure. One of the practices that I've been doing, and I always get a little bit of pushback, is asking for ID, like for a driver's license or anything before showing up. Do you do that?
No, because so I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's like I'm at a point in my business where if I'm meeting you, there's some sort of commonality, like you've been referred. So if I'm getting a call on a listing, I typically don't show my listings, but I do have another agent that I pass that along to. So, I want to make sure that my listing is getting serviced, but I'm not just, corresponding with someone randomly from the public that I don't know and then meeting them somewhere. That basically doesn't happen anymore. But it did back in the day for sure. People, if I have some sort of an appointment, it's 99% of the time there's some sort of connection and I feel, good enough about it. But I will say for that other 1%, intuition. Like, what does this person sound like? What kind of listing am I showing them? Because I did show something of mine the other day and it was totally fine and I knew it would be, but yeah.
So what happened? Like, was it a sign call or was it a web call or?
Yeah, it was off the internet, but it was like a nice house, like 1.1 million.
Right.
You can just tell by how they're corresponding with you. And I do ask some questions. I say, are you working with a realtor? Are you in a position financially, to move ahead with this property? Like, I'm not like, sure, see it too. Like, I kind of give them some brushback, and then they're like, and then they usually kind of have a little brushback for me, like, no, we're just looking, whatever. And it's like, nope, that's fine. I just have to make sure, one, that we're not dealing with a conflict of interest if you do have an agent. And obviously, they usually address the financing and they understand that as well. And it's like, yeah, we're not wasting anyone's time.
Right.
Yours, mine, the seller's, what have you. So, but honestly, and that was because the individual I normally send stuff to, I think he was unavailable. So I would say like a couple times a year I end up going out, but they're pretty, like, if I had even an inkling of sus, I wouldn't go, like, because I'm sort of looking for an out already.
So you just eliminate that threat from the get-go by passing off.
By being a princess.
By passing off that potential lead to somebody else.
Correct.
Yeah.
What about you? What are so identification for sure.
Yeah, identification. And we do talk beforehand and get a feel for what they're looking for. Sometimes, especially if they're calling from the sign, right? I ask them, have you seen it online?
Yeah. Do you know what because a lot of times they have no idea what the price is, nothing. And it's like, you tell them the price and they're like, okay, thanks, bye. That's usually how that one goes.
I'm still really surprised at how many times I get calls like that, where they're not even calling from the internet or from the
it's a sign call
website. Yeah,
I did have a sign call on that property as well. Yeah, and I gave them the information, and I kind of think they had a realtor, which is fine. And then great, like, have them
have them show it to you.
Totally. And that's, again, obviously, for the listener, why I ask, hey, do you have a realtor? Because if you have a realtor, they should be showing you. And then two, like, if I'm meeting you, that's a conflict of interest. We're talking real estate, all, like, there's, I mean, a plethora of reasons, but those are top couple. Mm-hmm. Another, like, I guess I'm thinking of a strategy back in the day. So if I ever was showing a property by myself, didn't really know the person, whatever, if I had an inkling of anything when I met them at the property, I'd say, oh, and, just a heads up, I have a new agent shadowing me. I'd give some sort of male name and, Bruce, John, whoever.
Right.
So he'll probably, like, whatever, he's coming. So just, just to sort of heads them up or whatever. There's like a lot of little tricks. If you're really worried, always make sure that you're between them and the door, whatever. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. And of course, also, I think whenever agents are in these situations, they have an agent who knows where they are, what's going on, that they're going to be in communication with them. Again, like, this for me, I haven't really done any of this in such a long time, but there's definitely a lot of things in place. And again, I do feel really like strongly about our community. They're always so supportive if anyone ever is in a situation and they want an extra body just for safety. So, Michelle!
You mentioned body and I'm like, ah! I think I'm just a little bit more paranoid. I don't know what it is, but
it's all those crack houses you're showing.
Crack houses. Oh, that's like the easier part, honestly. But it's interesting because like things would come up on the news. Like recently, there was that woman. I think it was in Calgary.
Okay.
Where she had actually killed somebody because, and it was like a showing.
Oh wait, she was self-defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine being that. And of course, we don't really know the details. And it was a tenant situation, like a rent. And
a renter,
she was the landlord. And you know what? I don't even know if she was a realtor.
I do actually remember this, and she may have been, but if not, a very sort of adjacent sort of situation maybe. And that is a very interesting outcome because it is unfortunate. I don't know how frequently we hear this, but it's, every 6 months, 2 years, there's something in our inbox and it's a female realtor and, it hasn't gone well. And, and that could be even, the United States. We're not talking the Edmonton market, certainly, but it's really unfortunate. It does happen. So yeah, we can't be too safe out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you get these calls, like they turn into a great relationship and you help them out, you help them find their home.
Totally. You work with them for your career. Like it's, and so this is what I say about sign calls. So part of the reason I don't do them is it's a certain breed of work in this industry. So if I get, I'd say 10 sign calls that I actually go so I do some pre-qualification. Okay, I'm going to show you the property. So you go, you meet those 10 different prospective clients. I would say you could turn one of them into a buyer maybe. And so that's like a lot of, and then you're still starting at ground zero because they're not very, very unlikely that they're buying that house. Because if they're calling you off the sign, that means they don't have a dedicated agent. Yeah. They're kind of very early stages, let's talk how lined up are you for financing? So you're helping them with that. You're just, you're really starting on the ground floor. So it's not like, oh, I meet you, I show you this house, and then we're writing on it. It's like, great, I have just met a buyer in their beginning start of the process.
Early stage,
So there's a lot of legwork to get there. And there are some agents who will take, so if I have that lead, they'll take it because they're happy to do that work because they're at a point in their career where that is viable for them. Yeah.
Right.
So it works out great because I never want, if someone wants to see my listing, I want them to see it. I want, to represent my seller as best as possible. It's probably not going to be me.
Right.
So that's how I eliminate that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about intuition when it comes to offers, doing the work, getting a house sold.
Well, I mean, I think it plays in a lot. Beyond that, I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think of a story of when. And okay, so this is an interesting thing too when you think about, okay, what is intuition? What are instincts? And I think a lot of it has to do with your prior knowledge.
Yeah, your experience, your past history.
Yeah, your experience, what you've seen happen. And I think when it's time to formulate an offer, using that type of knowledge really comes into play when you're trying to draft something up.
Oh, for sure. You can, to me, it's interesting. I think there's realtors that are, and this isn't even, there's obviously that layer of intuition, but it's just experience and hey, like, pick your battles in your offer. Like, there's just so many things that you can really tell. Either you can't tell how long an agent's been there, but you can tell how competent they are. Just, like, you can, let's say you're in a multiple offer and you've received 6 offers as a list agent, you can just tell who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, that's your experience, and partly intuition.
I think another time too that you use your intuition when you're doing multiple offers is just identifying, okay, how many other agents are writing offers? And the listing agent has to tell you which realtors are presenting offers. And even knowing some information about who you might be competing against can certainly guide you into what you recommend to your client in order to make a good offer that's going to win.
Absolutely. I have a funny story there. And it's kind of a little bit of a sucky story for me. I mean, my clients did find a property, but I had been in a multiple offer on this, like, it was a new bungalow. This is several years back that had come on the market. And a good friend of mine who's also a realtor showed it, and I'd left my card, and he also knew it was me. So he's like, guys, we got to go in high. This girl, like, doesn't lose. And so they beat me. God damn them. Yeah.
Well,
so, but he did, but that's exactly it. But I'm like, oh, here's a story when it worked against me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's true. But you, as an agent who is submitting an offer, can use that same, data set and try and analyze. You're not going to sort of be able to be 100% conclusive, but you can definitely glean some tips. And you know what? I would say there's certain agents who've never had that thought. I always talk to my clients about that, like, oh, hey, this agent, like the other agent did to me, kind of, comes to play sort of thing, or, they're kind of grinders, but when it comes to it, they'll, like, step up or whatever, right? Like, or they do a ton of work in this, like, you can use little tidbits for sure.
Well, I think it's definitely one of your duties as a realtor, when you say fiduciary duties, right?
Mm-hmm.
I let my clients know everything about, even if it's another realtor's listing, right? I'll let them know, okay, this realtor may tend to overprice their listings.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Or if we're competing, like the other agent used with you, right? If I know, or if I've dealt business with them before, I'll certainly let them know that information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, too, when you're walking into a property and you could see, like, maybe the state of the home, whether it's a flip or whether...
how well it's cared for.
Yeah, whether it's very well maintained, right? That type of stuff that...
Is there only one set of gender's clothes in a closet when 2 names are on title? All sorts of things. Like,
exactly.
There's so many things that you can pick up. And I think we actually, like, just saying that, like, we do it so subconsciously, I think.
Like second nature.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's actually so many things you can pick up. And again, I do think that there's agents out there dumb and their clients are yeah. And then there's some that we're picking up everything, and that's definitely experience, but it is a sixth sense,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean there's basically just so many places where that comes into effect. And I'm sure we're missing a lot, but we don't want to give away all our trade secrets today, so...
We don't?
Well, I guess, maybe that's for the next episode. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to, being able to share some more insights with you guys again soon.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. You can listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your fine podcasts.
Yes.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.
Just do all the things.
All the things. Thanks for listening, guys.